Vegetable Woods, also known as Tewwg, walked into Janie's life at just the right time. Janie was in what her friends like to call mourning stage after the loss of her recent husband, Joe Starks. Although Janie didn't feel a true connection with Joe, she pretended to mourn his death to make those around her happy. It was one late night of Janie working at the shop when that all changed. Tewwg had originally come to town to watch a baseball game. However, when he went to buy something from Janie's store and noticed she was there all alone, he decided to stay and get to know her. That was when Tewwg was first able to change Janie's life. That night, Tewwg had asked Janie to play checkers, which is something nobody had ever done before. In Janie's past, checkers was not a game for women. At that point, Tewwg was able to change Janie's life without her even knowing his name. When Tewwg then tells Janie his name and tells her he goes by Tewwg, she responds with, "Tewwg, so you sweet as all that?" With that reaction from Janie, it shows that Tewwg has already come off as sweet, and he will continue to for much of the book. After that first night, it didn't take long for Janie to know that Tewwg was truly the man she wanted. As you continue this story, you will find so many good traits coming with the character of Tewwg, but you will also find those that aren't the best. We learn early on that Tewwg is not a man with a lot of extra money, which is one reason why many people doubt him in the beginning. Although Tewwg isn't rich, he is still a very hard worker who doesn't give up. Tewwg also doesn't participate in the sexism that many people believed at the time. Instead, Tewwg decides to go out and teach Janie how to shoot a gun. Tewwg made her shoot at little things to give a good aim. At that time, none of the other women went out to shoot with their husbands, so when Tewwg helped Janie practice so much she began to shoot better than most of the men, it turned out to be a big deal. Another good trait of Tewwg's is his self-confidence. Where many men believe gambling is not a good thing, Tewwg goes out to gamble regularly with much confidence that he will return home with more than he started with. Another time you will see Tewwg's confidence is when he believes he can keep Janie safe from the storm they have coming, and continue to make money as long as possible. However, along Tewwg and Janie's journey of happiness, they faced a few hardships. For example, when Mrs. Turner shows up telling Janie, "You got more nerve than me. I just couldn't see myself married to no black man. There's too many black folks already. We gotta lighten up the race." Although Janie doesn't believe in the color scale Miss Turner does, Tewwg fears that Janie will start listening to what Miss Turner has to say. Because Tewwg was so scared that Janie might leave him, he felt it was necessary to reestablish where he stood in the relationship, and he did so through physical violence. Up to this point, Tewwg had done so well treating Janie equally. Luckily, because Janie's love for Tewwg was so strong, she was able to forgive him for what he did and see past it to all of his positives. Towards the end is where many hardships come in. Because Tewwg and Janie decided to stay home when they knew the hurricane was coming, it forced them to put up a good fight in order to stay alive. In their long, tiresome journey, Janie and Tewwg were forced to swim for a long distance. Janie had never learned how to swim well, so Tewwg spent much of the time carrying both Janie and himself along. By the time they finally hit land again, Tewwg was so exhausted, he took some time to rest. While Tewwg was resting, Janie got thrown back into the water where she was about to be attacked by a rabid dog. Tea-Cake sees Janie is in danger and jumps right up to her rescue. When Tea-Cake went to save Janie, he was unfortunately bit in the high cheekbone by the dog. He was so tired from his long journey that rather than going to a doctor for the bite right away, he says, "Let me rest a while, then us got to make it into town somehow." From that point on, Tea-Cake continued to get more sick every night. Because Tea-Cake had gotten so sick, he had taught Janie not only the responsibility of taking care of herself, but others too. In the unfortunate ending of Tea-Cake no longer able to control his anger, Janie was put in a terrible situation where she was forced to shoot him.